So a very good evening, ma'am. Thank you so much for giving us your time. I- I'm really very happy to have you here with on the Zoom call. So
Me too. It's so fun.
it's very, I love interacting people on a video, on a face-to-face thing. Now,
Right.
having a conversation on call, it's like too boring, I might say.
I know. Same. Like when you see the person's face, it's just so much more nice to interact with
Yeah.
them.
You know the expression as well, and you know what next to say.
Absolutely.
So, what inspires you to become a heartbreak coach?
Well, put it in a sentence. My own life inspires me because this is something that I went through personally, a very long time back. So I was still in school, like when I was 15, and uh, it was very silly relationship. Like it wasn't even an actual relationship because it just lasted for a month. But the way I was like emotionally invested into it was really deep, and so it took me 3 years, and yeah, almost 3 years to like heal from it in a way. So I realize and I know how bad it can be for women especially to like come out of these kind of relationships, because as women we are wired all around our emotions, and it can be so crazy to take control of all those emotions, especially during a breakup. So that is what inspired me, and that was like what just caused the catalyst. But then I went on to learn so much about this. I'm always reading articles and browsing through, journal papers and everything. So I really love this because it's my passion, and I know that it is so valuable in the lives of everybody, because the women who are dating today will be married tomorrow, and then they'll have children, and they will eventually grow into societies. And just imagine the very foundation of society being heartbroken, right? So that's what really it inspires me so much.
Yeah. How you are now very young as well. How old are you right now? You don't mind me asking.
I'm 20.
Wait, what?
Yes, I'm 20 years old, and I started coaching when I was 19.
Yeah, yeah. We are the same age. So, what approach do you take when you have a client that is going through heartbreak?
Good question, and super loaded. Like my approach is like very, very slow and based on emotions, because like the first thing that you need to do is after a breakup is to lean on your friends, lean on your support system, and to just really like lean back on them and say that whatever I'm feeling right now is completely all right. I don't have to like post things on social media to make other people feel nice, or to make my ex jealous, or all that kind of drama. Just cut all that out and just lean back and say that if I'm feeling sad right now, I'm feeling sad. I need to be gentle with myself. I need to just feel what I'm feeling and slowly walk myself through that, because people don't eventually like they don't realize enough that when you are going through a breakup, it's not just you separating from somebody. You are actually going through rejection, loneliness, fear of the unknown in the future. Your self-esteem is crushing. You're like damaged in so many ways, especially for women. Like they have all sorts of confidence issues, trust issues, sometimes body image issues. And as you're going through all of these things, it is so important to be like easy on yourself and have somebody who can just walk you through that slowly and gently with love, and then eventually build up on that. So that's always my approach. I never rush through things with my clients, and it just works out so beautifully when they learn to just tolerate what they're feeling and be okay with that instead of looking for distractions. So that's what I would say is, yeah, like my primary approach.
Good approach. Very good approach. So, do you have a personal story that you can share with your share with our readers about your journey of self-understanding and self-love?
Yeah, very much. In fact, I still struggle with self love. It's something that you have to make a decision to do every single day. Because me personally, I am a high achieving person, like a Enneagram 3. So I'm always, when I wake up, I'm just looking for things to do, like accomplishments, accolades, affirmations, where I can do things and then people can like respect me and tell me how amazing I am in return. And that's what gets me going. But then I realize how toxic that is, because the day that the days that I'm not productive enough, I feel like I'm not good enough. I feel like I don't deserve anything. I deprive myself of food. And this used to be like way worse back then, a few years back. Now I'm still recovering, but that's what I do. Like I punish myself when I'm not as productive. And mind you, I'm still being productive, but in my head it's just like aaj maine ye nahi kiya, wo nahi kiya. So it gets really toxic. And I feel like, especially if anybody can relate with me on this, like alpha women, especially high achievers, boss babes, always want to achieve things, it's so important to just lean back and be gentle. And just kind of deviating from what you asked, Juhika, um, I think it comes all from our childhood. Like a lot of us, the roles that we play as a child in our own family. Like for me, I was the elder child, and so I was always a good girl, always, like high achieving in school, A grade student. And so, like, most of the people around me kind of based my value and my worth on what I was achieving. And that slowly became my own programming. So after a while, when I was achieving the things and I was getting recognition for that, my brain was like, "Oh, Judith gets a lot of attention and respect and love when she achieves nice things, when she gets A grades. So let's keep that going, let's keep that rolling." And that's how I got into that whole mode of like hustling around and doing all these things just to get attention, just to get respect, just to get love. And now that I look back on it, it's become so toxic, because even though there is nobody appreciating me, I just want to keep going. I cannot rest. I cannot be just doing something for fun, because I always want to achieve things. So, and along with that, even after my breakup, another thing that spiked up was my like the way I saw myself, my self-esteem and my self-image really crashed. Because like my ex would say, and like many of my friends back then, I didn't have good friends, so they always said things to me like, "You're not beautiful enough, you're too fat, you're too dark," things like that. And it really became my own narrative, things that I started telling myself, and I believed that it was true. And it affected me so much that I still have, like, you know imposter syndrome around those things. Like, maybe I'm not beautiful enough, maybe there are other girls out there more beautiful, and that is true. But I don't think anybody deserves to just bring their whole worth onto what they look like. And that is like one sad thing that many women going through a breakup experience as well. Like, if they ask what happened to me, what's wrong with me that this person broke up with me, a big reason would be like, yeah, they think that I'm not beautiful enough, which is so not true. And so, me in this journey, I'm learning to just love myself and be okay. Like, as a Catholic, I love Jesus, and I'm learning every day to just fix my eyes on him and see what he's telling me, because God loves us, he made us, and he sees us as the absolute best creation on earth. But it's sad that most magazines and most media and lots of toxic people around tell us otherwise.
You are beautiful and talented, I would say. If you could ask me, you are actually beautiful and talented.
Thank you so much. So are you.
I can relate. When you were telling your story, I can actually relate to you very much. I mean, even now I hustle a lot. ये भी करना है, वो भी करना है,
Right.
सब अभी इसी वक्त करना है, कुछ भी कल के लिए नहीं छोड़ना।
I know, right? Same.
क्यों छोड़ना है, कल आएगा नहीं आएगा पता नहीं। So, what are your future plans? Like, you are just 20, you must be on your graduation period as well. So,
Right.
what are your future plans?
So I'm currently majoring in psychology and English literature. It's a major and minor combination. But my eventual goal is I want to be somewhat of a marriage therapist, or if not that, then a dating coach, because a lot of women in our society don't know their way around dating. And to be honest, in my opinion, to be very honest, I feel like dating is going downhill like every single day, little by little by little, because people don't know really how to date in a world of hookup culture, in a world of, everything is just going so fast. People don't know how to slow it down, how to actually treat men and women differently, because I don't believe in feminism. It's not true for me, and I don't like it when like women and men think that they are equal, because they're not equal. Their respect is the same, but they are still different, and the way they ought to be treated is also different. And for me, I want to really teach women to hold their worth, to wait until marriage for sexual relationships, and to just like hold off and have the best relationship they can have. And so, like, dating is one of my main goals. I really want to get into that soon, but I also want to keep going with Heartbreak, because I know many women in our society need it a lot. So women, ladies, if you are wanting to, like, you're done and you know that okay, I have a great job right now, I have a stable career, and now maybe I should like settle down with somebody, and then you start dating. But as you're dating, you get onto somebody, you get attached to them, and it doesn't work out, and then you break up with them. But the breakup is real, like the heart pain is real. And so that pain should not stop you from finding who you are meant to be with, finding somebody with whom you can live out your life properly. Because, like I mentioned in the start, whatever we do now, like our relationships, our dating, will become the families that live in the future. And if we cannot build those families in a way that is sustainable, it's going to have an impact on the children of the next generation. And so I feel like family is the structure of society, like the absolute basic structure, which needs to be done right. And that starts with marriage. And so I really want to get into dating and marriage. So yeah, hopefully I should be able to become like a qualified therapist, which is still in the process. My coaching certification is also in the process. So yeah, those are some of my goals. I'm also hoping to write some novels and books, but we'll see.
So, do you think there is a scope of dating in future, like the career you want to pursue in the dating thing? So there is a future in, is there a future of, you know, building as a therapist that?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes, because people, I feel, are going to need this more than ever. Because in our society right now, everybody just wants to get behind a screen where nobody can see you, get on Tinder, get on, I don't know what other apps, and date people at your own convenience. But that's not what dating is supposed to be like. In my opinion, I feel that if you are dating somebody, you need to open your heart, take off all the walls that you've built up. If you have been hurt or burned before, we build up walls ki mere paas mat aao. This is it, that's your boundary. If you walk beyond that, you're going to see my ugly self, and then I'll be wild. You need to break down all those walls and be real, be open, be vulnerable. And this is something that people are not doing at the moment. And so dating has become such a like messed up concept, I feel, because of a lot of other variables, and people, I feel, don't know how to do it the right way in our world right now. So as a therapist for couples, and even single women who want to be in a committed relationship, I think it would be really amazing to coach them and to like be with them in therapy, to walk them through that journey. Because like I mentioned, it's so messed up. I've spoken to so many women, and all of them are saying like, okay, if I just had somebody who I could like come home after a date and tell them how it went, and then they give me actual green flags and red flags, that would be so amazing. Right? Like it's so difficult when you just speak to your friend and your friend tells you, oh no, go with them, go out. And then like you don't actually know if that guy is playing with you, or you don't know if he's actually committed, or you're just reading the signs wrong. There is so much of confusion, right? Like people in college, people of older ages, it's very messed up. And so for me, I definitely know that it has a lot of scope, because dating will never go out of fashion. It's never, because like I said, it's dating is part of family, family is part of society, and how can society ever disappear, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nice idea, actually. Nice choice of career, I would say. Not an
Thank
idea.
you.
So, you have, uh, I mean, your clients are above, like above 20, 25, right? Your clients
Hmm.
must be like,
Yes.
amazing. Okay, that's amazing. So, can you please give us your favorite life lesson quote that you use to give motivation to the ambitious females who want to overcome heartbreaks and move on in life?
Whoa, this is a tough one. I'm gonna have to think.
Take your
Good
time.
question. I feel like you only live once.
Uh,
YOLO is going to be my quote, because for so many women, like that's me. That's me. I'm an alpha woman. I'm always succeeding, always like rushing into things, doing things. And YOLO seems so simple, like just go out there and do those things. But when it comes to relationships, we are so scared. We are so scared to feel our feelings in the first place. And this is why so many people like do drugs, they do alcohol and smoking, and like just like Netflix and anything that can dull your senses. Because if you were to feel your feelings fully, then it would be so painful,
yeah.
right? So they just want to like do anything they can to numb that pain, to avoid that pain, which is dangerous. And it's not good, because that pain is only going to get buried somewhere deep. And then one day when you have a relationship with somebody and you feel like everything's nice, bed of roses, and then something is going to trigger, and all those old memories, all the toxic trauma will come back up like in an instant. And so it's so important to heal. And this is where the YOLO comes in, because you only live once, and your relationships is like a golden time, is a golden opportunity for you to grow as a person, to become better, to become holier if you are religious, so like open your heart, feel all your feelings really, and know that this time that you are in right now, like your heartbreak, or if you're like almost healing and you're getting back to dating, know that you only live once, and you can't date the whole population. You have to only date a few people, and then that's when you'll find your person. But if you do it right, then it's enough. So don't be afraid of feeling your feelings, don't be afraid of opening your heart, talking openly, like asking for what you want from your partner. Like I know so many girls, so many women, they want something specific from their partner, like a certain way that they want to be loved, or like to communicate a certain way, that or certain things that bother them, but they just never say it. They never say it, because they're just so afraid that maybe if I say it, he'll break up with me. But really, don't be afraid. There is always a better way to communicate, to have beautiful relationships. People come together so that they can help each other, make each other's relationships and their lives better and better, more nice and more joyful at the end of the day, not to come together and fight and quarrel and all those things. So don't be afraid to get into this, to really feel what you're feeling, and whatever you are doing, don't be afraid because you only live once. I'm just repeating my words here, but yeah, I think you get the point, right?
Yeah, I got it. So,
Gosh, I speak a lot.
it's okay. I'm good at listening. So, what is your most successful moment as a coach?
I'm sorry, can you repeat, please?
What is your successful moment as a coach?
I remember one of these times when I was with a client. We were on a call together, and she's in her 30s, and she has been hurt for a long time. And her breakup was like a few years ago, but it was still hurting. And we were talking together, and like a lot of things were discussed. And at the end of the call, like we did an exercise. It was a neuro linguistic programming exercise, and it's the one of those exercises where you actually, like you imagine things in your mind and then you actually do those things with your hands. So it's kind of complex. I won't explain here because it's a long procedure, but like we spoke a lot, and then we did the exercise. And then after that, like when she was doing those things, she actually had tears in her eyes and I had tears in my eyes, because she just had that feeling of, like, something that was in her heart for such a long time was just freed. Like she just felt so much freedom. And like I remember that moment so vividly because she had her eyes closed and I was looking at her through the screen, and like her hand was like this, and she was supposed to be doing something in the exercise, and she was just doing that with her eyes closed, and her, like, she was teary eyed, crying and sobbing so badly. But like after those 10 minutes, like I saw the smile on her face, and it was just so magical. It was so beautiful. Like I remember that moment very vividly even now in front of my eyes. I cannot like express that. That's my like greatest moments with every client that I take on, because at the end of the course, it's so important for me when I see them, realizing, okay, why do I behave like this in my relationships? What's really the problem? If I'm constantly dating people who are unavailable, or constantly dating people who are toxic and abusive, what's actually causing that? We decode all those things, and at the end of the whole thing, when they're like healed, ready to take on the world and go date again successfully with the right tools in hand, the joy on their face is like really unmatchable. Like all the other things that I do, like I write articles and I go to places, talk to people, it's not as amazing as I feel when I see my lovely clients, like bawling their eyes out in the middle of a client call, and just so much of freedom. That's like the code word of my whole coaching, like freedom from all the things that you have been holding on to in all your breakup and dating experience your whole life. Like it's time to like snap out of it, snap out of all those old patterns and free yourself. And then, because once you're free, you can make active choices, but if you're like caught up, you only have a limited set. So yeah, that was, yeah, my favorite moment.
So, was it that law of attraction that you used in the experience that you were just sharing?
No, it's not. No. The exercise that I use in my coaching it's part of NLP. So NLP stands for Neuro Linguistic Programming. It is something that is like uh, it has got to do with the brain. So our brain encodes all information in four parts. One is visual, one is audio, which is like hearing. Then there's K, which is for the feel that you get of a particular like event that your brain records. And then there are some words and some other elements included to it. So if I ask you, Juhika, right now to remember your first day of college, you can remember that, right? Like you can remember the visuals, the noise around the place, people that you met, what were you feeling, maybe nervousness, something like that. So our brain records all these things, right? And one of the rules of NLP is that if your brain can record those things, you can also change those things. So we kind of go back in time and change the narrative of those experiences. If it's negative, we can go back and make it positive. And this is not like hypnosis or law of attraction. Those things are really weird. I'm not really a believer in all of that. But NLP really is all about the brain. It's very science based. It's very like you can feel it when you do it, and then you're set free. So yeah, NLP is that what I do. It's really awesome.
Hey, you actually gave me a thought of remembering the first day of my college.
Right.
I remember only the first starting 2 hours were very. अरे class कहाँ है? Class जल्दी बताओ. And that was fine. So, any 3 words you would describe yourself as a person?
Oh my gosh, you ask amazing questions I'm not prepared for. Well, I would say calm is definitely one of that, because I am very much at peace. Because like not I wouldn't say an introvert, because I love people and I love talking to people, but at the same time I love when things are calm. Like my surroundings, I would prefer to be like calm and cool at my own pace, slowly and nicely, as opposed to like everything is hectic. So yeah, calm is definitely one of that. I'm very calm and composed, always like super composed. Yeah, composed and calm is the word. Another trait that I would call myself is, oh, this is so hard. Probably hungry. I love food. I love to eat, and like so with along with people, I love eating with people. So like we go out together, talk, eat, lots of fun. Yeah, so calm, hungry, and I would say lifelong learner is definitely one of them. So yeah, let's use that as the third one, lifelong learner, because I'm practically like reading up Reddit, Quora, and so many articles, blog posts every single day. And my sister says that I'm too much of a nerd, which might be true. I'm always reading up things, looking here and there, being inquisitive and curious. So yeah, I guess that should be it. Sounds pretty boring. I'm not sure. Calm, hungry, and lifelong learner. I feel like there's a lot that I could describe myself. But yeah, let's go with that.
You're not boring actually, but you're actually interesting person.
Really, you think so?
Yeah, I don't lie.
Thank
I
you.
don't lie at all. So, yeah, in your experience, why should what should people do to do better themselves, better themselves in terms of understanding and accept and move on?
Mm. So, like I mentioned in the beginning, like the number one thing you can do to move on and accept that the relationship is over is to first of all feel what you're feeling. Like stop running away from your pain, stop trying to numb all those things by meeting out friends and distracting yourself. Like go meet up with friends, but don't like actively do things that will stop you from feeling what you're feeling. Like if you're feeling pain, you sit there, you cry for an hour, 2 hours, play breakup song, play all other bad sad music, and you cry, and then you come back and feel much better. You'll feel much lighter, as opposed to blocking out all your emotions, because the more you repress them, the more you press back on them, the more they will spring up with greater force. So no use of like repressing your emotions all the time. Please, please, please feel them. That's like step number one. After a while, like you will get so tired of crying and crying and crying that you will feel at one point you'll just be like, wait, I need to do something else. Like I cannot be like this forever. And that's when you will automatically, like, it's like a human need, our bodies and our minds always seek balance. So when you're too much on the emotion side, at one point you will automatically feel like I need to be like a balance on the other side too. And that's when you'll feel like going out, just leaning on your friends, being with them, talking about your breakup. And I feel like a very important part of moving on is to accept that it is over, to tell yourself that it is over, because so many women, including me, I wasted like so many years, at least like over a year. I was just like being friends with my ex, because I thought that maybe if I was around him and I was friends with him, then he would come back to me. He would realize that he loves me as well, which did not work well. Instead, it broke me even more. But so many girls do this, like they don't accept that it's over. They What they do is they like do all they can to bring their person back, to like they put all their efforts towards bringing him back, instead of realizing that your relationship is broken. That's why you broke up.
Yeah.
Like if the relationship that you two had was a good one, a healthy one, then you wouldn't have broken up. Like it's common sense, right? So once you realize, you tell yourself that it's over. Stop expecting your ex to come back, to text back, to call someday, to email you. It's not going to happen. The longer you put your energy into hoping and waiting for him, you are losing out, you're missing out on all that time to heal yourself, to make yourself better, to really get to know yourself. So like, number one, stop like expecting him to come back. If you feel like you're always being sad even when he's around, like just cut him off. It's okay. Stop being friends with that guy and just feel whatever you're feeling, like I said. After a while, then like when that's part out, then you will feel like doing other things. So like the number one thing you can do is to really build your life and build your identity apart from being that guy's girlfriend. So there's a part of you, your identity, your self image, as part of this person's girlfriend. So like if his name is Jake, then oh, I'm Jake's girlfriend. Jake and I hang out together. Jake and I go out to eat together. Jake and I do this. Jake and I do that. But now that Jake's not here, you need to do something on your own, right? Which causes the pain. Like Jake was something that you were so used to. Now that Jake is gone, it's hurting because he's not here anymore, and your brain is facing problem, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be that time of resistance where you feel like, wait, what's happening? There is change. Okay, brain, don't panic. That stage will come, but you have to just like make that slight shift where I am no longer Jake's girlfriend, but I am still me. And a lot of women do this. Like what they do is their whole identity will be revolving around their ex, that on the days that their boyfriend is there, they will never even look at themselves. They will I guess spend less time with themselves because they're so obsessed with the boyfriend that when he's gone, we don't even remember who we are anymore. So the time of healing is really crucial to understand who you are again, get in touch with yourself, and just really like feel key, like who am I, what are my passions, what are my hobbies, what do I want. Start building your identity that does not revolve completely and it's not based off on your ex, on your boyfriend. So one question that I always ask my clients is, what are some things that you've always wanted to do but you never did because of your partner? So some of them tell me, well, I wanted to travel, I wanted to take up a job promotion, I wanted to adopt a pet. And those are some like sweet things they wanted to do, but they just like pressed it down because their partner was there and their partner was consuming a huge chunk of their attention. Well, now that he's gone, it's a great time to do those things and like just really find yourself through that. Because if you want to date somebody next, you have to carry yourself into that relationship. You can't carry like a Jake's girlfriend version into your next relationship. You have to carry you.
Yeah.
So to carry you, you have to find you, which makes sense, right? So
Very
that's what
much.
we do. That's what we do in the coaching. Like find yourself, build your identity. कि मैं कौन हूँ? What are my priorities? What are my identities? What are my goals in life? Figure all that out. Then when you have that in place, then you will automatically be on your way to getting better and healing, because you will know what I want. You will know what you want to achieve, who you are, what you like, what kind of person you want. All these things will just come with one rule: just build your identity that does not revolve around your ex.
So if a person doesn't have a friend to share his or her feeling, what is the
Mm,
alternative to that? Because I don't have much friends. So just
mm.
asking, what is the alternative to that?
Right. If you don't have a lot of friends, you can always make friends. If not,
Yeah,
you can still. Mhm.
yeah, but the friends that we make are usually okay, काम हो गया, okay, bye. Are these friends,
Mm,
not a genuine friend that we all need. So what?
right,
Any
right.
alternative?
I feel like you have to make friends who are really right. And this takes time. Like, you can't be like, okay, I had a breakup today, tomorrow I go find a friend to talk to. That would seem really selfish. Like, you're just going there to vent.
Yeah.
So make friends who are genuine, and this, like, you'll know how, which friends are how by the times that you are in adversities. But also pay attention to, like, where you are finding those friends, because if you find them in college, just some random places, they are most likely going to be like that. But if you are more likely to find them in a place like youth ministry, or a place where people are like dedicated to mental health, or more like a genuine cause, they are more likely to listen to you. If not, you can always take the help of some coaches or some therapists. I know some coaches and therapists, they also offer free sessions. So if you feel like, well, I'm going through a breakup, I don't have anybody to talk to, you can always go sign up for a free session. It really helps, because in those 90 minutes, 60 minutes, you can get so much information. And even if not, you can, like, it just helps to have somebody's perspective on your situation, and to just explain things to them and just talk to them without getting judged. Please don't go to anybody who judges you, because that's like the worst thing, because then you're going to be led to hide some parts, and you're going to be like, they'll make you feel ashamed. So don't go to people who will judge you. Always find somebody who can, like, not judge you and have the ability to listen to you without judging you. So find people who will not judge you, and you can always look online. I'm pretty sure I know a lot of people who offer free sessions. And if you do want to take it forward, then you can, like, work with a coach for a few months like me, or like go to therapy, anything like that.
Hmm, nice alternative. So, what are the biggest challenges you faced while dealing with the client, and how do you cope up with them?
Right. Number one challenge that I face is them being so panicky over what happened, because, like, I absolutely get it, they're in a bad place, and it's difficult, to, like, know that it's going to be okay and that they have a future ahead, because they can't see it just yet. That's what breakup does to you. It puts like a wall in front of you. Oh, sorry, you're saying something?
No, no, I'm just,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. Okay. So what a breakup does to you is they just put like a wall in front of you. So even if you have a beautiful partner on the other hand, a beautiful future on the other hand, you are less likely to see that. What you're going to see is a wall, blank wall. This is it. This is this is the end of the world. My world is doomed. That's like a very common, like, thinking that most people have
Yeah.
after a breakup. And so my challenge, it's not really a challenge, it happens with time, but it is like it's a difficult job to make them feel okay and feel their feelings, like I mentioned. So there's two things. They're either going to think like everything is over and I want to give up, but that's where I tell them that this is not the end. You have a long way to go ahead. You have, like, these are girls who are coming to me so that they want to get past this breakup, so that they can make a beautiful family and a beautiful relationship, right? But at the same time, they're so convinced that this is it, I'm never going to find anybody. Almost like self sabotage, like two beliefs that are controversy to each other. So that's a difficult job. And another thing is it's very, very difficult to get them to feel what they are feeling. Like that's like the number one like highlight of what we do, but it's still so difficult because people don't want us, just so afraid of their feelings, of their thoughts. Even if they're alone with their thoughts for 5 minutes, they want their phone, they want some kind of distraction, anything but my own thoughts, anything in the world but my own feelings. So
And
yeah. So right. See, that's so difficult, like to just be alone with your thoughts because they're afraid of the kind of thoughts that come in your mind about your ex, about all those things. Our brain will put up all kinds of rubbish in front of us to see, but it's important to be calm and gentle through that whole phase and just be calm, just be gentle. Whatever you're feeling up and down, just be, like on a stabilizer with that, and just feel those things. It'll come in waves. You'll feel sad the next day, you'll feel just numb. The next day again you'll be sad, then maybe you'll have like a spurt of joy, and then again you'll be crying for a whole week. But that's how it is.
yeah,
So I'm not here sitting here and telling you that, okay, if you come to me, your breakup is going to be as easy as a pie and then nothing will happen, like all your feelings will be gone. No, your feelings will be there, and they will not go until you like get through them, until you feel them and you walk past them. The only way out is through. So you have to go through your emotions, and that's like the number one problem. Not a problem, I would say, but it's difficult to get them to do that because nobody wants to do that on purpose. So yeah.
exactly. So, what advice would you give to the people who have been undergoing heartbreak to practice self-compassion and love?
mm, I think the same thing that I said, I keep repeating myself over and over. But like, if you have been through a breakup and if it's like super fresh and new, and that you're like hurting really badly even now, number one thing you should do is please just lean on somebody. Like find somebody who you can speak with, and speak all you can. Just like put whatever you're feeling into words. Number one. Number two, whatever you're feeling, put it into words on paper. So write about it a lot, because when you write, you have such clarity, so much, like it's just so nice to have clarity in what you're thinking. And when you speak also, you can like sort through what you're thinking and all of your feelings, and it's just nice to talk to somebody or to write it down. So if you feel like you don't have anybody whom you can speak to, at least writing it down will help a lot. There's a ton of resources online. I have a bunch of stuff on my website too, so like feel free to check out and like find journal prompts, find questions that will help you think, and like write those things down. The more you can talk about these things, the better. So talk about it a lot, and lean on your friends, lean on your support system. Because if you are alone in a room, right after your breakup, you will only think about your ex, you will not think about anything else. So don't waste your time thinking all the time just about your ex. You go out, like maintain that balance.
Yeah,
Bring joy into your life, bring happiness into some days, like schedule breakfast dates with your friends, go on sleepovers, late night car drives, whatever makes you happy, do those things. And on the other hand, start building your life. Like I said, build your identity slowly and firmly into somebody who's not that guy's girlfriend anymore. So whatever you like, people, if you dig deep enough, you know what you want. Deep within, we all know what we want. We all know what our deepest desires are. You just have to have the patience to think about it and to, deal with it, and it'll come out. Once it's out, then you know exactly where you're headed and where you want to go. And for some people who have been in breakups for a long time and they are still hurting, it's still like, you know, you're not in a place to move on, and you still feel like, why did that happen? Well, number one, there's a great chance that you're just overthinking. So you have to deal, and this is the bitter truth, but you have to deal with your overthinking, because if you are thinking about it all the time, sadly you have wasted a lot of time already, and you are continuing to waste your time thinking about your ex instead of using that precious mental energy for lots of other things. So just cut out the slack, cut out all of the overthinking, and start building your life in a different direction. Number two is there's a chance that you haven't felt all your feelings yet. So if you are like somebody who has just like hidden all your pain and pushed it inside a can, and you're doing all these things, every time you open that can, all those feelings will come back. So don't be afraid of those feelings, feel them, go there, cry, feel it, and then come out again. The- like otherwise these feelings will haunt you till the time you die. There is no escape. But it's not that bad. Once you start feeling those feelings, it's not that bad. And my last tip would be really build your self esteem. The number one reason why like breakup hurts so much is because it damages our self esteem. It damages the way we think about ourselves. Like I said before, like we feel maybe I'm not pretty enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not thin enough, I'm not interesting enough, I'm not funny enough, and that's why he left me, that's why he broke up with me. And this narrative being told to you for years and years can become so solid, it damages your self-esteem like crazy. So
Yeah,
if you have like broken up several years ago but you're still hurting, there's a great chance that your self-esteem isn't like
enjoy.
crumbles, it's in, yeah, injured. True, injured. So you need to go back and see what happened. Like a lot of inner work is required. Preferably work with somebody, or like use a lot of time to just be mindful, to be calm. Pray if you are Catholic or Christian or even any religion, and you feel like you have a relationship with God. Please pray, and He will show you what's wrong. He will definitely show you what's the problem. And build your self-esteem. Do things that you think, oh, I can't do that, and then you go right and do just that, and it will build your self-esteem. Like you will find things that you think you couldn't do, but you actually can do it. And when you start doing those things, you will realize, wow, I actually can do that. When I broke up, like I was an average student in school, because I was paying so much attention to my boyfriend and none to my studies. So I was like, I became like from an A grade, I was like a C grade. And then after my breakup, I went into college and I was crying all the time. And I decided at one point that, wow, I need to change this. I need to get better. I cannot, like spend my whole energy just like waiting for him to come back. And when I made that change, like I was like, wait, so now who am I? Do I need to get back to myself? Who am I truly? And I said, I am an A grader person. What am I doing here crying for somebody and getting C grades? And I went back to being myself, not just his girlfriend. I went back to being me. And that was the year where I was like, I stood first in my college, which was really great. And I realized, wow, I can actually do this. I'm still me. Don't lose parts of yourself just because of an ex, right? Save you for your future husband, for your future relationship. Don't give away parts of yourself to people. And at the end of it, when you meet your husband, you're just like a broken statue or a broken vase with missing hands, missing fingers. Don't do that. Save yourself entirely for your future husband, for your future children, for your future self, because you need that more than anything else, right? You need you. So don't let go of you. You've been hurt, you've been burned. It's all right. You can feel your feelings and just come back to who you were as a person. See what happened there, build your self-esteem again, find yourself again. It's totally possible. If I can do it, anybody can do it, right? So if you are willing to put in the work, you can absolutely do that.
So you have a very unique way of handling heartbreaks. So, what does your emergency breakup kit include?
A breakup emergency kit was like a small ebook that I wrote. It's for people who have like just broken up and they need something to like calm themselves down. So that it has like 6 different modules, and it's very, very simple. It's for somebody who isn't really into psychology or like meditation. It's basic, simple for everybody, something that everybody can understand. So it has these same things like basic questions and some journal prompts for people. Module 1 and 2, I think I wrote it a long time ago. I can't remember, but
You wrote,
module 1 and 2 is some. Sorry.
you wrote the emergency kit, or you,
Well, yeah. So like those modules were about feeling your feelings, right? So if you have just broken up, first you go and find some persons that you can relate with, somebody you can talk with, some people who are not afraid to like listen to you and just accept you. They won't be like, oh, you did that, oh, you did that. Like, they won't judge you for whatever you've done. Just a safe place where you can come and relax and just talk about it. Find those kind of people, like even if it's just one person, or even if it's just somebody online, or like a free resource that I mentioned earlier. Please just go and talk with them, like, vent that. Then the further modules of the kit include what else you can do, like a lot of mental work, like a lot of truths are in there, like your breakup affects your self-esteem, and what else you need to know about breakups. Like all those things are in there. It's a pretty nice, very simple thing that I wrote, like a small 25-page ebook. So if anybody wants to check it out, please do. It's a very simple, and like I made sure that I wanted to make sure that it's available for everybody and that everybody understands, which is why it's like super simple. Just like 6 steps you can do and carry yourself through gently, like right after your breakup.
yeah. So does that kit also include the self-care activities?
It does, yes. Self-care is a huge part of like moving from a breakup. I once had a client, and we were talking through things, and she had an aha moment when she realized that she was actually punishing herself on days that she didn't do well enough, you know, and like punishing herself in the ways that it hurts the most. And we all do that, whether or not we recognize it, we all do it. And so self-care is very, very huge. When you start loving and just being gentle with yourself, physically, emotionally, mentally, it's so much more easier to get through that, because this whole journey is about holding yourself like a little baby and walking her through that pain, through those stages, like, gently with love. You can't drag somebody like you just can't pull them up like that and say, okay, this is a period of 6 months of healing, let's make it short to 1 month and just like drag yourself through it. It doesn't happen, it doesn't work that way. You need to be very gentle and loving. And so self-care is definitely a huge part of healing, I would say. Yes.
So apparently that was my last question.
Oh.
I didn't realize I came to the last questions.
Oh.